Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those who are new here, my name is Hitesh Singh and we are going to continue our part 2 of my PC build series. So in the part 1 I had shown the time lapse of my entire build, and in the part 2 I'm going to talk about what tech is in my PC actually, what is making it a $2,000 PC. So there has been a lot of gap between the part 1 and the part 2 video, so my apologies. And also I'd like to mention that the audio and video quality is not gonna be the best right now, so my apologies for that too, because my DSLR I guess has given up on me. Well, not the camera itself, but the battery has given up, because when I turn it on it says change the battery pack. I have no idea why is it showing me that error. I need to go to the dealership and look into the problem. Well, keeping that aside, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. As you all already know what's inside the hood, I'd really love to take out the time to show you how beautiful it looks. I've shot some clips and I hope you like them. Let's roll the clips. This beast is powered by the Intel Core 9th generation i9-9900K. Its base frequency is 3.5 GHz and the max frequency it hits is 5 GHz. It's an 8-core, 16-thread, 40nm processor with 16 megabytes of Intel Smart Cache technology. Well, the TDP for this processor is 95 watts, so yeah, it's a power-hungry processor, which means it's gonna heat up. To keep the heat at bay and the CPU temperatures under control, this build is using the ML240L RGB AIO liquid cooler by Cooler Master. After weeks and months of usage, I can finally say that this 240mm liquid cooler by Cooler Master is just perfect for this build. There is no significant rise in temperature even while heavy gaming or heavy video editing. After rigorous testing, I can finally conclude that this all-in-one liquid cooler by Cooler Master is just perfect for the 9th generation CPUs by Intel. As we all know, the Intel i9-9900K is popular for its heating when it's under load. While I was testing it with heavy gaming and severe video editing, I noticed no temperature spikes, which was completely astonishing. All the popularity that the Intel i9-9900K gained for its heating problems were basically because the testings were done with air coolers, and with a processor that has a TDP of 95 watts, I just don't find it very rational to test a power-hungry processor with an air cooler. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm not insisting everyone out there who wants to own an Intel 9th generation or maybe now the coming 10th generation processors, I'm not insisting all of the users to use an all-in-one liquid cooling solution or maybe a custom liquid cooling solution. but what I'm trying to imply is that air cooling is not as efficient as liquid cooling. When we are using air coolers, there is a possibility of thermal throttling, which is a commonly known phenomenon with the 9th generation processors and with the future coming 10th generation processors as well, which will be as power hungry as the 9th generation processors by Intel were. So it's very safe to say that the cooling solutions that I've adopted for my build is completely justified for the setup. If you've come so far in this video and you've watched till here, I really want to take out the time to thank you and appreciate you for your constant love that keeps me going on and keeps this channel alive. And to keep supporting me like the way you are by watching this video till here, I'd really like if you just hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay notified whenever I upload new videos. This keeps me motivated, and trust me guys, your small efforts mean a lot to me. Now, as we are talking about the cooling solutions, why not we talk about the case, which has 3 RGB fans in the front of the case, which are the inlet fans, and 1 non-RGB fan at the back, which is the outlet fan. The case that I've used here is the Corsair's MB511 RGB case. In my opinion, the case is very beautiful in terms of its design. It's a budget-oriented case, so I was not expecting to be a very loud, screaming case that screams on top of the world that it's a gaming computer or it's a video editing computer. But considering its price point, like I bought this for 5,000 Indian rupees, and considering the price point that I've purchased it, I just love it. It's beautiful. Its design is very subtle. It has a side glass panel which makes it really very attractive to look at, and the 3 RGB fans at the front just make it very cool, to be very honest. The RGB lighting of these fans can be controlled by the IQ app by Corsair, which can be downloaded by their official website. Now, we've talked a lot about the processor and the cooling solution that I've adopted in terms of the processor and the build overall. But now coming back to the build, after the processor, well, what's the most happening thing in the PC? Well, there are 2 things, the RAM and the GPU. So let's start with the RAM. The RAM used here is the Corsair's Vengeance Pro series C15 3000 MHz 32GB RAM sticks. Well, not 32GB RAM sticks in single channel, but 2 16GB RAM sticks in dual channel, which make a total of 32 GBs for the entire build. Well, finally coming to the GPU used in this build is the RTX 2060 Super by Gigabyte. Well, now let me explain. You must be wondering, why did I get the 2060 Super instead of the 2070 Super? Well, full disclosure, when I was building up this PC, all the components, especially the Intel Core i9-9900K, was not very cheap in India. These components were selling at a very premium rate and were definitely way more expensive than other countries like the UK or US markets. So by the time these components reached the Indian markets, they were heavily priced and beefed up by taxes, which made me really compromise on my graphics card, and that's the story guys, can't lie to you. Coming back to the storage, so for this build I've not used any mechanical drive. Yes, you heard it right, no mechanical drives for my build, though I've used 2 primary storage devices. One is the Samsung 970 EVO 500GB Nvme, and the second storage device is the Samsung 860 EVO 500GB SSD. And guys, I really need to tell you that ever since that I've dropped the mechanical storage drives completely from my life, life's been beautiful, and I'm not kidding. The read and write speeds on both the Nvme drive and the SATA SSD drive are just completely mind-blowing. The boot time of this PC is just like you blink an eye and it's on. Like, obviously it's Nvme storage, most of you know how that works, but I mean, like, when I've installed application programs, when I'm editing, when I'm gaming, whatever task that I'm throwing at this PC, it's not letting me down. The motherboard that I've used here is the Gigabyte Z390 AORUS Pro Wi-Fi board. It's a very capable board with beautiful RGB lighting and great VRM. As you all already know that this video is not sponsored by Gigabyte at all, but I really need to emphasize on the fact that this board is extremely capable for its price. Gigabyte offers much superior boards for its Z390 chipset, but this Z390 AORUS Pro Wi-Fi board is extremely capable. Its VRM is just amazing and the performance that is delivered by this board is just mind-blowing. The fast storage combined with the high processing speeds because of high frequency and a high number of core count and high frequency RAM, all of it combined into this $2,000 PC build setup. And to conclude this video, I'll just say that the experience that I've gained while building this one PC for myself is an experience of a lifetime.